Hi, this is Graham Helfrich, Technical Advisor Manager for the Engineering Software here at IHS Markit. Welcome to the weekly Did You Know episode, where we learn how to do something of value that you probably didn't know about your IHS Markit engineering software. Today we're going to be discussing performing a water-oil ratio analysis. Now, water is often injected into the reservoir of a mature oil field to maintain oil production and pressure in the reservoir. Eventually, water breakthrough will occur and we start to see the water-oil ratio increase from the producing oil wells. Performing a water-oil ratio analysis is going to let you more reliably forecast your oil production compared to decline analysis. To do this, most engineers will open up a blank Excel project and spend a few hours importing their data, making some custom analysis plots to do the water-oil ratio analysis. But did you know that you can do this valuable analysis to forecast oil production right in Harmony Enterprise? Let's check it out. So in Harmony Enterprise, I'm on the GIS map and I can zoom into an area where I've got some producing oil wells and some water injection wells. Now, one of the nice things about doing water-oil ratio analysis is you don't need any flowing pressure information. What that means is you can actually use monthly production volumes that could come from AccuMap or Interdeck. So the first thing I'm going to do is select all these wells, and I can either go make a custom group. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. I'll call it my water-oil ratio analysis. If we go and look at the production history for these wells, we see that we have the produced water rate, combining it for all the wells, the total oil rate, total gas rate, and the injected water rate as well. So how do we do a water-oil ratio analysis from this data? Well, I'm going to use this button in the top left, and this will pretty much clear this plot so I can make a custom plot. So on the x-axis, I'm going to put cumulative oil production. On the y-axis, operated oil rate. And I'm also going to take the combination of the oil plus the water rate, and I'll lock that on the same axes as my oil rate. It's important that these are on the same axes like I've done here. Next, I'm going to go take my water-oil ratio. I'm going to drag it and put it over on the right-hand side here. So we see how the water-oil ratio has been increasing through time, and this is the plot I'm going to be using moving forward. So I don't have to manually recreate this every time. I'm going to save this as a template, and I'm going to call it my water-oil ratio analysis. Great. So now I'm going to go to my analysis, and using the Harmony Forecast module, we're going to go under Custom, and this is where that custom template is stored that we just made, water-oil ratio analysis. And that's going to launch it as a worksheet here. So if I need to forecast production from this set of oil wells, one way is I could simply apply a traditional decline analysis. And we see that it's applied a decline here. It's trying to fit it onto the data. You can change this, and again, this is a very traditional way to do production forecasting. But that's not what we're here to do. We want to do a water-oil ratio analysis for a more reliable oil forecast. So we'll start by adding water-oil ratio analysis, and it does a best fit through the blue data. So we can adjust this interpretation. The triangle is kind of like the fulcrum or the pivot point. Okay, so it's up to us how we want to make this interpretation. The green lines are the abandonment conditions, and so I've specified that, well, by default it's 98% water cut, but we can make it 96%, and that will abandon earlier, or 99% that will abandon later, and we can kind of see how those abandonment lines are changing. Okay, so I'll keep it at 98%. The other thing we're looking at here, this is a combination of the total fluid rate, oil plus water. And this is often dictated by some sort of pump capacity limitation. So right now I see my total fluid rate is about 300 barrels per day. So what I'm going to do is add a new worksheet, click forecast, and over on the left I'll turn on this water oil ratio analysis checkbox. So this total fluid is that 300 barrels per day, and I'm just going to assume that that will maintain constant in the future based on some sort of pump capacity. So from that, we've already just right now created an oil forecast. So what we're doing is we're looking at the water oil ratio analysis and how we expect that to continue. We're applying a total fluid, combining the oil and the water as a fixed number, and that is in turn generating an oil forecast through time. It's easier to see it on the plot here. Okay, so we'll turn on this forecast, and there we have an oil forecast. Okay, so this green line is our historical oil rate declining, and this is our new oil forecast. Now you'll see it is totally connected to our water oil ratio interpretation. If we change this, the oil forecast responds. Okay, so this is a more reliable way to forecast oil production in a field like this than just traditional decline analysis. The next thing I may want to do is consider, what if I'm going to increase my pump capacity to pump fluids out of this system from 300 barrels per day to 600 barrels per day? Well, we're just going to go ahead and time to schedule when that might happen. Right here I'm going to say, and I'll just double click and extend that down. So we can see if we plan that, how the oil rate is expected to increase if we increase our total fluid pump capacity for the system. Okay, so these are just some of the really quick ways you can do water oil ratio analysis and generate a little more reliable forecast using Harmony Enterprise. So what does this really mean for you? Well, like I said, now you can forecast oil production using the water oil ratio analysis, and you can generate those forecasts more reliable than just traditional decline analysis. The second thing is, if you're currently using Excel and trying to manually pass data around to do this, you're wasting so much time. You can do that all in your Harmony Enterprise software. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For any questions, please be sure to contact me and subscribe to be notified of next week's Did You Know episode.